I've been holding off on Sleeping in the Cold Below because I actually want to do an operatic rendition of it before I break it down, but I think in this case, let's listen to it first and break it down, and then I'll go back and create an opera cover for it, because it's really cool.
So it's into the void, now me girls and me boys, from mother's hands we go. We'll be sailing to the sun till the voyage is done, then we'll be sleeping in the cold below. Sisters below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yes, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below, sleeping in the cold below. Our sailing ships for the hard and the quick, we roll our load and go. There's a living to be made, or there's hell to pay when you're sleeping in the cold below. Sisters below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yes, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below, sleeping in the cold below.
So we understand that this is, to my ear, a sea shanty, right? The term shanty most accurately refers to a specific style of work song belonging to the historical repertoire. However, in recent popular usage, the scope of its definition sometimes expanded to admit a wider range of repertoire and characteristics, or refer to a maritime work song in general. Folk songs are interesting because, based on my understanding of folk music, having studied a little bit of folk music in undergrad, folk music is never really written down. It's an interesting thing because it's one of these things that's passed down through generations, through the years. It's about work, it's things that are picked up, never really been notated. Folk songs tend to be about the suffering of work and wishing that you could live a different life, and the style of singing that's used is usually one that isn't necessarily rehearsed or practiced or technical. I say that I would sing a cover of this, but you know, the difference is sleeping in the cold below, below, sleeping in the cold below. Technically, that would not be considered a folk song. Folk songs in general were created for anybody to sing as you're working. Well, the dawn and the girls and me boys, the lovers hand we'll be sleeping in the cold below. That's not hard to sing per se. Now it is harder when you go, sisters below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yes, we're all bound down with the deep. Right, like that's a different kind of situation. But in general, folk songs are really meant to be sung by everybody, and they are meant to be passed down through the generations.
There's a man on high with the devil in his eye and a golden hand, I'm told. It can hurt you, it can hold you, he can kick you or console you when you're sleeping in the cold below. Sisters below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yes, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below, sleeping in the cold below. Sisters, you so wise and true, and it's my time to go. Won't you lay me down under crown and crowns, and I'll be sleeping in the cold below, below, sleeping in the cold below. Sisters below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yes, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold. Sisters below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. Yes, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below, below, sleeping in the cold below, below, sleeping in the cold below.
So let's take a pause there and think about this. Sleeping in the cold below, death. From mother's hands we go. From the safety and security of mother's hands, now we are thrust into the void. We'll be sailing to the sun for as long as it takes. then we'll be sleeping in the cold below. Basically, we're gonna run out of options, and once we get to the sun, when our voyage is done, we're sleeping in the cold below. Like we're not gonna get out of this situation. Yes, we're all bound down to the deep, and we'll all be sleeping in the cold below. Soon it'll be all of us. We're all going down to the cold below. There's a living to be made, or there's hell to pay when you're sleeping in the cold below. This I don't fully understand, so I don't know what the cold below is. Obviously, they're workers, and they're being subjected to working for the man on high with the devil in his eye, and there's very little that they can do. In the middle section here, we pull all the way back, and it's just that one person. Sisters below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. That's a personal reflection on the situation at hand. Man, there's nothing I can do. Like, I'm in this, like I'm stuck. And the singing here is super light, and it's not affected. It's not an excessive vocalism. It's just, with the boy, the boys and me boys, our lovers' hand we go. You can hurt you, we can harm you, we can and you'll be sleeping in the cold below. Even when it's outward, it's still very reflective on the circumstances at hand. It's really cool.
Today we sail on the solar rail, for there's much we just don't know. So farewell with a kiss, then it's fast for the mist, till we're all sleeping in the cold below.
Damn. So what's crazy about this is that it does feel like there's a bit of a motivation or an inspiration. So farewell with a kiss, that it's fast for the mist, till we're all sleeping in the cold below. There's a real resolve there. It's fun because the first half of this has got a definite strophic pattern. Verse 1 chorus, verse 2 chorus, verse 3 chorus. But then the bridge shifts into this, and then we shift into the outro. It's much more a personal journey rather than sisters below, below, we're going where the winds don't blow. You know, it's a lot less of that and a lot more, this is my personal journey. If you want to watch more Warframe videos, there's a bunch here, and as always, thanks a ton, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.